Welcome to this week's video cast. This week's video cast is brought to you by two of our sponsors, two of them that you're very familiar with. Walzer Automotive with 14 different brands that they're selling. Check out the ads on our site and the monthly specials. All kinds of ads on Walzer on the site every week, every day. And finally, a newer sponsor to the site, Dynamo. They're sponsoring our YHH Spectacular that's being held this weekend over at Bloomington Ice Garden. 10 of the top 10 scored A teams, 14 of the top 16 scored B teams in the tournament. It should be an awesome event. We're really looking forward to seeing all these kids coming into big and playing their hearts out for the big trophy at the end of the season event. We'll also be handing out the U10 Player of the Year and the Squirt Player of the Year at the end of that event as well. So should be a great deal if you're a big squirt hockey fan. Look up on our site the schedule and all the events for the event for this weekend. Speaking of this weekend, we'll be doing some predictions for the state tournament and as well on the video, and we'll do a regional review of all the different picks that I made a couple weeks ago for regions. I got 36 out of 48, and we'll go through all of the ones I got right and all the ones that I got wrong. And then later on in the video, I got a special guest in studio today. Frederick 61 will help me predict all of the Pee Wee and Bantam state champions coming up this weekend in the state tournaments across the state. So stay tuned. Should be a fun video series for you guys. Before we get into our prediction segment, we're going to go back and check my work on the predictions going into the state at all levels of Pee Wee and at Bantams. Let's start off at the Pee Wee B level and check my scores. You can see I got them still up here. I got a 36 right out of 48. Let's go through all 36 of them that I got right and a few surprises as well. So in the Pee Wee B North, I got Halleck right, I got Grand Rapids wrong, and Bemidji wrong. Let's go with Moose Lake. Made it in the Pee Wee Bs. Sartell made it, and Rochester Black made it. So that rounds out that region. Edina beat Johnson Como in the championship game. So they made it. Both those teams made it. Highland did not. North Metro and Minneapolis both made it out of the West region. So I got 7 out of 8 correct there. Moving on to Pee Wee Single A. Duluth Denfeld didn't make it, but Virginia did. Congratulations to East Grand Forks. They made it. With Virginia. I circled this one. This is the region of death. I got 0 right. Didn't even get a sleeper right. All of them were wrong. Congratulations to Laverne winning in their hometown, their first berth to state. So congratulations to them. And also South, made it in the South with Sartell. So I got those 2 wrong. East, I got Edina and Sibley got beat, but Cottage Grove did make it. Congratulations to Cottage Grove. They won the district. Edina had to go back and beat Sibley in the play-in game later on Sunday afternoon. Got Orono and Minneapolis right on that one, so I got a total of 5 right there. 7 right here. Interesting story, Orono beat Crow River in the last 5 seconds, tied it in the last 5 seconds, and then beat him in overtime. Heartbreaker for Crow River. Back up here to Pee Wee AA, got them both right here. Grand Rapids and Duluth East made it in the north. St. Mike and St. Cloud made it in the south. Edina made it, and Minnetonka made it. Tonka beat Lakeville South in the play-in game by a whopping 11-6. Congratulations to Tonka for making it. No such luck for White Bear Lake. In the west, Wayzata and Centennial made it. Not in the manner that they probably thought, but Wayzata had to come through the back door and beat Moorhead on Sunday. So I got 7 right on that one. Pee Wees, I got 19 out of 24. No thanks to that South region. Bantam B1 in National Falls and Duluth Denfeld made it from the north. I got Buffalo Black as a sleeper right and didn't get this one right. St. Michael Albertville was knocked out. St. Cloud Red made it. Congratulations to the Red and good luck this week. In the East region, this was a bear of a region. Stillwater Red made, I got that one wrong. Got White Bear Orange wrong, Lakeville South wrong. I was wrong on Chaska Chan. Congratulations to the Stormhawks. They make it to state. In the West, Wayzata Navy, I got that one right, and North Metro right. North Metro knocked out Wayzata Blue on Sunday afternoon. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right there. So 6 out of 8 there. And then we move on to the Bantam Single A. East Grand Forks made it. No Evelyn, Gilbert, or Greenway. Congratulations to Thief River Falls. They made it. Hutchinson and Sartell made it. I got that region correct. In the East, Matamita and Edina, got that one correct. Crow River and Spring Lake Park, no such thing for Spring Lake Park or Hopkins. Congratulations to Detroit Lakes, losing their first game in the tournament and then fought their way back all the way through the losers bracket to make it. So I got 6 right there. And then finally, Bantam AA's, Grand Rapids and Duluth East made it. In the North, got that one wrong. No such luck for the Lumberjacks. In the South, Minnetonka won their first game and got all the way to the play-in game and lost to St. Michael Albertville, who made it. And the winner, the easy way through, was White Bear Lake. They won the region all 3 games up in St. Cloud. Edina lost to Prairie Lake, so I got that one right. Congratulations to both those teams to make it to state. Wayzata made it. They had to go through the back door. And the winner of the region outright in the first 3 games was a little bit of a surprise, but a very hot team this time of year, Osseo Maple Grove. Got 5 right in that region for a grand total of 36 out of 48. Not my best prognosticating this year, but it's tough. A lot of good hockey, a lot of good upsets. This one up here really threw me for a loop. A few others threw me for a loop as well. Osseo Maple Grove and Bantam AA's, Chaska Chan and Bantam B's. Lots of upsets and lots of great hockey. Should be a great state hockey tournament this weekend all over the state. Tune in to check on our picks in the next segment. All right, we're going to give it a shot here. Today we have the infamous Frederick61 in studio with us. We're going to go through all 6 of the boys' tournaments, and I'm going to throw in a pick for the girls' 12As as well. Let's get right to it. Pee Wee B's. I'm going to pick the champion, the runner-up, and the sleeper. So the champion will be Edina, #1 in the state, and Region East champions, as Freddie gives me the thumbs down. Runner-up will be Johnson-Como in a rematch of the East Region. A very nice game. Johnson-Como carried the play, but I still think Edina has the intangibles here. Sleeper, hard to call any team a sleeper that hasn't lost yet this year, but Tiny Halleck from District 16 is a sleeper, and they could win this whole thing. They haven't played a lot of Metro teams. That's what makes them a sleeper. It should be an interesting tournament with an undefeated team from the North. Freddie, any thoughts on the tournament?
Johnson-Como is #1. Edina's #2. That's what I would say. The reason why is Johnson-Como has been playing reasonably well lately. They had a good District 8 tournament. They and Edina did play at Edina in the Edina championship game for PUEBs. It was a great game. You're right about picking a Hallock, or there's a Moose Lake, or there's a North Metro. All those teams didn't skate an A-level team. So you're basically got a good chance that one of those 3 teams could come through against the B1s.
It's a good call. Thanks, Freddie. All right, we're going to give the Pee Wee Single A's a shot here. I'm going to go with Edina as the champion, and their East Region rival, Cottage Grove, as the runner-up. And my sleeper is going to be Minneapolis. A really strong team that played well the last 3 weeks of the season. Freddie, what do you got to say about who's going to win, who's going to finish second?
I think this game, the first round games are going to go pretty much as expected, with Edina, Minneapolis winning. The Cottage Grove Laverne game is going to be very interesting, because Laverne has this outstandingly huge defenseman, #33, They're a 9-man team, and him back at defense, if he survives, will turn that game around. He's that good. Given that, after all is said and done, the two Minneapolis and Orono, the two D3 teams, I think are playing much better coming out of the regionals, coming out of their districts than Edina did coming out of the East Regional or Johnson did. So right now, I would favor Minneapolis and Orono in the finals, and that would be a battle between those two teams. They've won and lost all the way through districts and regionals. So flip a coin.
A different viewpoint. Someone likes District 3 and the West Region, and someone likes District 6 and 8 and the East Region. We'll see who wins. Now to the Pee Wee AA. This one should be interesting. I'm going to go with my picks, and then we'll have Freddie chime in with his. He's already got his thumb out ready to give me the thumbs down. I haven't even put it up yet. We're going to go with Edina as the AA, which would then give Edina the sweep at Pee Wee's. Pee Wee B, Pee Wee Single A, and Pee Wee AA. Runner-up from the lower half of the bracket, I'm going to go with St. Michael Albertville. In a very close game. All four of those teams in the bottom half of the bracket can make it out. I had to flip a coin and pick one. I saw St. Mike play. They're a really good team, very well coached, good goaltending. My sleeper is going to be Minnetonka. Hard to call these guys a sleeper. They have more talent than maybe even Edina. They have so much ability. I just can't figure out how they haven't put this thing together to be one of the top teams in the state. Freddie, your thoughts?
Well, my first thought is I'm going to go to the first quarterfinal game between Centennial and Duluth East. People wondered why I picked Duluth East to win, and it goes back to how these kids start to play at the end of the season. I noticed that Duluth East in the North Regional beat Centennial, or beat Elk River, who was the #1 team in D10 over Centennial, 5-0. That means they came to play. I think in the first game you're going to see a Duluth East Edina semifinal, or Duluth East and St. Cloud. Now let me go to St. Cloud. Same thing applies to St. Cloud. St. Cloud has an extremely strong 3 set of lines and a reasonably solid defense. If their defense holds up, they will have Edina struggling in the third period. And if they're struggling in the third period, the smaller Edina players tend to clutch, grab, and dive. And then if you see that happening on the ice, you know that Edina's in trouble. If Edina's got a big lead coming into that third period, it won't matter. It won't matter.
Well, I have to say this. I don't think what he's saying will happen, so let's just go on the record. Edina is going to sweep through. They may have 3 running time games in the state tournament, similar to the Jefferson team in the 2001 state tournament when they made the clean sweep as well. Any other thoughts, Freddie, before we cut to the Bantams?
The only other thought I have is, well, if Edina does make it into the Saturday, and you combine what's happening on the Bantam AA side, Edina is going to be the place to be. Yeah. On Saturday afternoon, it's going to be packed.
That place will be crazy. Or if you're really bored and you like squirt hockey, you can come over to Bloomington Ice Guard and watch Squirtacular too. So, anyway, thanks. We'll cut to that one, and we'll go on to the Bantams next. All right. All right, welcome back. We're going to go live with the Bantam B1s. I'm going to pick the champion as Stillwater Red, #2 in the state. This would be Stillwater Youth Hockey Association's first state championship. Check the records. They will beat Wayzata Navy in the semifinals. The runner-up will be North Metro. And my sleeper from District 6 is Chaska Chan, who's played outstanding the last 3 weeks. So they could take out North Metro in that bottom half of the bracket and work their way into the play the game against the winner of the Stillwater Red Wayzata Navy. I made a special little category for my #1 rated team in the state, Wayzata Navy. Their only loss this season is to, guess who? Stillwater Red. I think that Stillwater Red may have their number, and that could be all they need to do is to get to win that first state championship. Any thoughts, Freddie, on this?
Yeah, I got two. First of all, the Wayzata being not in the top 3 picks that you have sort of surprises me, because I think since they split their teams a couple years ago at the Pee Wee level and had 2 balanced teams, that they're a stronger team than that. And the other comment I'd make is, why didn't you pick Edina?
Because they're not in it, or else I would have. All right, we'll go on to the Bantam A's now. All right, welcome back. We're going to go after the Bantam single A's. I'm going to pick somebody, and believe it or not, I'm not going to pick Edina to win this one either. I'm going to go with Matamidi to win the Bantam single A's. I think this is one of the easiest picks of all that we make. Matamidi is probably one of the top 3 or 4 Bantam teams, period, in the state. A lot of move-in kids from Stillwater, great school district. Matamidi is always a great high school program. This Bantam team is a very special team. They may be a state team in AA as well. They will win the Bantam single A. Runner-up will be Sartell. Slight surprise there. A very good team. They've played a lot of AA hockey this year. They played a lot of AA teams tough. I think when push comes to shove, they're a strong team. They will win that bottom half of the bracket. My sleeper is another team from the bottom half of the bracket. That's Detroit Lakes. Detroit Lakes, as I said earlier in my review session, they lost their first game in regions and then won all 4 in a really tough West region. Detroit Lakes believes that they can win. Anytime they hit the ice, that's a great sleeper pick. They could make it all the way to the championship game, and I think they would, no matter what, would lose to Matamidi. Freddie, any thoughts on this?
Well, you got one right at last. I like Matamidi. Their goalie is outstanding. We covered him in the Burnsville tournament. We got to him again at Hastings. Just a great player. He's got a good set of defensemen in front of him. They got some tough forwards. Matamidi is good. If Matamidi has a problem coming out of there, it's going to be because of Ben Myers and Crow River. Ben Myers is probably one of the outstanding Bantam A forwards in the state at this level, former YHH pick from last year. Sartell has another YHH pick in Thomas. He's a bull of a player. And against Burnsville in the St. Cloud tournament, he was really giving the Burnsville defense trouble. So they got a good team, and if they've come together, they're going to be tough. Detroit Lakes, it's just been there. They're just a team that has played solid all year.
Yeah, they've been in our top 10 all year. Slid out at the last minute, and then they came through that West region with a great play-in win on Sunday afternoon. So congratulations to Detroit Lakes, and should be a great tournament here at the Bantam A's. All right, on to the Bantam AA's. I'm going to go a little bit outside the box here. I'm going to pick the number 3 team in the state, Prior Lake, to win. And they'll beat District 6 rival Edina. Again, not picking Edina, Freddie, to win a state championship. And finally, I will pick no sleeper in Bantam AA's, and here's why. My champion is Prior Lake. That means someone from the bottom half of the bracket has to be a sleeper. Not exactly any sleepers down there. Sorry, White Bear Lake, you're not a sleeper. I don't think you're going to make it to the championship, even though you played well up in St. Cloud. Grand Rapids, you're not a sleeper. You've been a top 10 team all year. Wayzata, you're not a sleeper. You've been a top 2 team all year. And of course, Edina's in there. So I'm going to put NA on the sleepers. This is a tournament filled with all juggernaut programs. All 8 of them are huge associations with tons of history and tons of success. No sleepers involved here. The only one I could really realistically put in there is Osseo Maple Grove, who played really well in regions a couple weeks ago. They're a younger team with a lot of kids from the Pee Wees last year. I just don't think that youth is going to fare well here in the state tournament. Freddie, thoughts?
Well, I disagree with you on this one. I would pick Wayzata as being the champion. And my rationale is Wayzata's got a good draw. Prior Lake is a younger team. This will be the first time at the Bantam A level. They're basically half returning Pee Wee A. And they should end up playing Osseo Maple Grove, who also had half of their team in the Pee Wee A state tournament last year. So they're likely to come out as being the team to challenge Wayzata. Wayzata's a more experienced team, a stronger team, and I look for them to use their size, strength, and experience to beat Prior Lake in the final. Edina will have trouble getting by Wayzata in the semifinal. And as I said before in the other one, If you want to be somewhere to watch youth hockey on a Saturday, it's Braemar, Saturday afternoon from about 3 to 7.
Yeah,
you're going to
be
see
some
the
great games.
games.
Why not Edina over Wayzata? Just out of curiosity. I think they've had the upper hand on them this year in games won versus games lost.
That might be true, but now you're down to crunch time. And
home rink for Edina.
it's only
District
10.
6 refs.
I was at Pick 2 Sundays ago. I watched Wayzata Bantam A's play. Double A. They lost.
Yep.
I watched them play and they lost to Osseo Maple Grove. They aren't going to lose again. And I'll tell you something else. I was so impressed with the Wayzata fan turnout that I figured if they get to the semifinals against Edina, they may be the dominant cheering group in that arena. I mean, they had like 1,000 people floating around that game. And they were not quiet.
Yeah, it's funny with all the Edina teams in the youth tournaments this weekend, they aren't going to have a very good, strong fan base. They're going to be spread out all over the state.
Well, that's another thought. Although they should be there. I mean, if I were an Edina fan, I want to be at.
Yeah, it's going to be a great weekend.
That's
a great weekend. Well, thanks for tuning in to all of our picks. We got one more to go with the U12As. If you're a boys fan and aren't any interested in the 12As, you can cut out now. But we got one more session to go with the 12As. All right, we're going to do the U12As. It's going to be a great tournament. Lots of good teams, lots of top teams in the state. Unlike a lot of the Minnesota hockey brackets, you don't often get a lot of the top 10 teams in there. This one's loaded with top 10 teams. I'm going to pick my favorite, apparently. That's Edina. They're going to win state. They've been up and down between 1 and 2 all year. Shakopee's been in there. Farmington's been in there. Shakopee and Farmington should meet on the top half of the bracket. I'm going District 8 on that one. I'm going to pick Farmington to win that game and advance to the finals and lose to Edina. I got a couple sleepers. One that neither will be huge surprises. They've had some good tradition in them. One is Lakeville South. They've been playing really well lately. And the other is a sleeper from up north called Brainerd. Yes, Brainerd. Their girls 10A team is awesome. And this team had a great regional 2 weekends ago and shocked a lot of people, made it to state. Good luck to the Lady Warriors as they make their quest for a state championship. Freddie, any thoughts on the 12s?
I don't disagree with what you have. I would have 2 comments. The first is what I've seen in the last few years is a number of the top girls are actually skating Pee Wee A and Double A for a lot of the associations.
Because of the no checking, correct?
Because of the no checking. But also because, and if I were a parent of a talented girl, I would probably have her there too. Because it's almost a 90% guarantee they'll play high school the next year. Now, the only other observation I have is that in the last 4 or 5 years of watching Pee Wee hockey, I've yet to see a girl skate for Edina.
Okay. It's an interesting observation. I would denote then Edina does not have at either their Pee Wee B, Pee Wee A, or Pee Wee AA level a girl. So assuming then a lot of their talent is still migrated and stayed on the girls' side, which is great for girls hockey and great for Edina girls hockey. Those girls are done really well. They had 2, a stronger and a weaker U12A team this year, and that 12A white team beat the green team, which we're picking to win state. So it's great for all the girls in Edina, and their 12B teams are outstanding as well. So tune in this weekend to find out who wins between Edina and Farmington or Shakopee or White Bear. All those teams are really solid teams. Some great games this weekend at the girls tournament.